Welcome to another episode of Battle Axe, coming to you, as always, from the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. I'm Joey Danya, alongside Bobby Bradford. It is week number 2 of a 7-week regular season, and it all leads up to a double elimination postseason tournament where we will crown a Battle Axe champion. If you've never watched the show, before we get started here today, let's go over the rules of Battle Axe. All of those rings on the board are worth 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 points. The bullseye is worth 6 points. And then the small blue dot, that's worth 8 points. It's what's called the kill shot. At any point during a match, a player can go for a kill shot. If they hit it, they get the 8 points. But if they miss it, they get nothing, Bobby.
They do get nothing if they don't hit that kill shot. And Joey, if they win that double elimination week 8 tournament, they get to take this baby home. And as we saw from week 1, Joey, there's a lot of new competitors in this league, and a lot of them have their eyes set on this championship belt.
Yeah, the World Axe Throwing League champion, the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range Battle Axe Championship belt, currently in the possession of our defending champion, Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw, and he's back looking to defend the title. Let's take a look at the standings after 1 week of competition. It is, of course, Bradshaw leading the way, a perfect 4-0, averaging more than 53 points per game, Bobby.
Yeah, it should be a surprise to nobody to see Matt at the top of the league standings here, but right behind him, though, is Eric Schizzle, Beth Jen, Zach Hinkle, Bob Yoakum, Michelle Frummelt, Devin Hillary, Ann Welp, Nicole Robson, and Leroy Kedley. So a bunch of new faces, and I'm happy to see them in the leaderboard here already.
That is your top 10, and we're going to get a look at all of them here today from the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range. Let's get week number 2 underway. Our first matchup of the week, it is Beth Jen taking on Michelle Frummelt.
Yeah, so again, last week we saw Beth kind of start moving towards that 5 and 6 ring. You know, one of her goals for this season has been to get out of that 4 ring and start living in that 5 and 6 ring. And a nice throw there by Michelle to get things started.
Yeah, Beth Jen has been around a while in this league, and it shows. She's off to a 3-1 start. Michelle Frummelt, a newcomer, off to a 1-3 start on the season.
Yeah, 1-3 record to start the season, though, but she did put up some really nice numbers last week on the axe, getting away from her a little bit there. And it looks like that's a 5 there for Beth. But yeah, for Beth, though, she's the one that's she has goals for this season that she wants to elevate her game, and she wants to, take home that championship belt like everybody else. But we've seen her in leagues past, Joey, really take some impressive steps, and we want to see her continue to do that as well. Nice throw there.
Progression is the name of the game, and Beth Jen with her best throw of the day so far. A bullseye right there. She's got a 3-point lead now after the first 3 throws.
And it's important for Michelle, like all these new throwers here, they're learning how to compete in the league here. So playing from behind right now, we'll see how she responds. Axe getting away from her a little bit there with that 3.
Still able to pick up a point, though, after a 3 from Frummelt. Beth Jen up by 4.
Oh, devastating throw there. You can tell she's just holding on to that axe just a little bit too long.
All right, at the turn, Beth is up by 5.
So Beth Jen and Michelle Frummelt will make the turn, with Jen leading by 5.
Yeah, so Michelle's in the unfortunate situation of relying on Beth to make a mistake. And although Beth is kind of getting stuck in the vortex here, she's still able to pick up a point from Michelle's 3. So now a 6-point lead. But Michelle just needs to focus up, try to put some positive points on the board, and that's a nice throw there.
Yeah, best throw of the day so far from Frummelt. Well, actually, it's not. It's a 4. She did throw a 5 on her first throw, but she didn't miss the 5 by much there.
Yeah, like we've said in episodes past, Joe, not all 4s are the same, not all 5s are the same. That was very close to being a 5, and that looks like it's a 5. Could be a bullseye.
Matt the Magic Man is going to get a closer look. We'll see if it's a bullseye for Michelle Frummelt.
Nice.
And it is.
Well, Michelle Frummelt getting herself within 4 now.
This is throw number 9. Beth is up by
2
4.
throws to go.
Yeah, some big throws here coming up to end this match. Beth is stuck in the vortex at the most inopportune time, and Michelle throws a 4 there. And very close to being a 5 there for Beth, but unfortunately for her, it is a 4. But she's happy just to trade points at this point right now.
Absolutely. Beth Jen closing in on another win. Michelle Frummelt's going to play the board here.
This is a tactic too, Joe. I think later on in the season we're going to be seeing some players go for that kill shot a little bit more.
Yeah, with so many newcomers in this league, I think the goal early on in the season is to just kind of get into a rhythm and get into that 5 and 6 ring. It's Beth Jen getting the win, 43-39 here over Michelle Frummelt.
Yeah, and for Michelle here, she'll fall down to 1-4 with a score of 39. Just too many threes on the board. She definitely, as some of these new throwers go, they want to live in that 4 ring, start to hone in that 5 and 6 ring. She can hang her hat, though, that she had a nice throw to start off the match, and then she had that bullseye on the 8th throw. And then for Beth, her goal coming into the season was to get out of that vortex. Unfortunately for her, she got stuck in that vortex from the 4th throw on. But fortunately for her, she was able to come out with the victory to improve her record to 4-1.
Nice job out of Frummelt to finish strong. She threw a few 4s there on the back half, but she wasn't missing the 5 ring by much. Good momentum that she can carry into the night here. Nicole Robson, our next competitor here on Battle Axe, she's going to take on Zach Hinkle.
To you both. Throw number 1.
Yeah, so last week we got a look at Zach Hinkle for the first time, and it's a really impressive throw. A couple really nice matches that he had. Oh, and not the start Nicole was looking for.
We'll see if it's at least a 1.
And it is.
So she's on the board, but a lot of ground lost here right away with a bullseye from Zach Hinkle.
Yeah, Zach with a nice bullseye to start the match. Well, similar to like when a player has a drop early in the match, if you're going to have a 1, you're going to want to have it early in the game. You want some throws to be able to make them up.
Much better throw there from Robson, and it's a 5 from Hinkle.
Yeah, so a nice throw there by Zach to increase his lead to 6. But a nice response there by Nicole, like you said, Joey. You had that bad throw to start off the match. You just want to put some positive throws on the board. Oh,
We do not speak.
That one was right down the center. It might have been a bullseye had it stuck, but a devastating drop here for Robson. A bad start gets even worse here. Zach Hinkle now with a 10-point lead.
yeah, Zach has a 10-point lead. And then for Nicole, like you said, Joey, that looked like it was pretty close to being a 5. But unfortunately for her, just not able to stick into the board, and then that's the kind of response you're looking for.
Might be a bullseye here for Robson.
Matt's going to get a closer look. We know he's a very thorough judge.
He knows what a bullseye looks like.
He knows what a bullseye looks like, exactly. And again, we're into week 2 now, Joey. We can talk about Matt's frog pants that he has on. I mean, the man is just a wardrobe genius.
I'm always in awe of the wardrobe of Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw.
He always
Clothes-
surprises.
Yeah, the clothes almost as impressive as his game.
Exactly. And that's another nice throw there by Zach and a nice throw there by Nicole as well. So a couple 5s despite her 1 and drop on her first and third throw.
Well, Nicole Robson getting into a rhythm here, but Zach Hinkle on fire. What a first half for Hinkle.
Man, and you can see that was almost sticking into the board there for Nicole.
And you can't throw it better than Hinkle just did right there. Back-to-back bullseyes. That one was flush. He's got a chance to do something that we're not going to speak of.
And we have to do something we dare not speak, but for Nicole, she's still having fun out there. You can tell she's still got a good attitude with it, and a nice throw there by Zach that looks like that could be a bullseye.
6-5.
Matt's going to get a closer look, and he makes the call, so that is a unicorn. So we get our first unicorn of the night there, Joey.
Always special when you see the unicorn, and pretty neat to see it so early on here today.
Oh, man, Zach has just thrown up a great game here. 4 6s on the card so far.
5-4.
We'll see if he can add to it. Very close, but that looks like a 5. A 4 there for Nicole. But for Nicole, in this situation, she just wants something to hang her hat on. She wants some positive momentum to go into her next match. Unfortunately for her, she's going to take the L on this one. But, a bullseye would go a long way in her confidence.
Absolutely. And every point matters. That's
There we
what
go.
will
Looks
set
like
the
4-6.
postseason field
Nice.
before the records.
All right, here we are.
Nice
Throw
throw
number
there. So
10.
Nicole does get that
Zach,
bullseye.
47,
Right on
Nicole
cue,
30.
Bobby. She must have heard you.
Well, you got to focus up. Sometimes you just need a reminder to focus up on that bullseye. You'd be amazed how helpful that can be.
Zach Hinkle looking to end this one with an exclamation point. Got a chance to go into the round of 50s, and he will. Looks like a 4.
Looks like a 4 there, and Matt's getting a closer look. It could be a 5. I think it's a 4, though, if it's popping through on the... Well, from our action cam there, it looks like it could be popping through there for the 5.
Yep.
And it is ruled a
Zach takes
5.
that one, 51-35.
So Zach Hinkle with a great round. He gets the win, 51-35 over Nicole Robson.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? Zach throwing up a really impressive score of 51. We know from last week's interview, Joey, that he just wants to keep setting a new personal best over and over again. So he did a good job there, throwing up a nice score of 51 with that unicorn from his 5th to 7th throw. And he improves his record to 3-2. And then for Nicole, unfortunately for her, she did not get out of the gate in a positive way. She had that 1 on her first throw, and then she had that drop on her third and her sixth throw. But if you look at the rest of the scorecard there, Joey, though, there's a lot of 5s. There's that 1 bullseye on her ninth throw. So if she can just eliminate those mistakes, there are better scores in her future.
No doubt. And a round of 51 for Zach Hinkle. That'll win you a lot of matchups here on Battle Axe. Much more still to come. Stay tuned for more Battle Axe on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe here at the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. I'm Joey Dania alongside Bobby Bradford. It's week number 2 of a 7-week regular season, all leading up to a double elimination postseason tournament to crown a Battle Axe champion. We're just getting things started here in week number 2. It's time for our next matchup. Leroy Kedley will be taking on Devin Hillary.
Yeah, so our first look at Leroy the Lumberjack here in week 2. Devin coming in at 3-1. Leroy at 1-3. A nice start there by Devin. Nice smooth throw. That was really good.
4-4.
Couple of 4s from Hillary and Kedley to get this one started. Hillary coming in with a record of 3-1. She's a newcomer, but you wouldn't know it.
Absolutely. Putting up some really nice scores. That first throw by both competitors looked closer to being a 5 than it was a 4. Both getting a little more of the 4 ring there, so definitely trying to focus up on that 5 and 6 ring, but positive throws. Another 4 there, and there's a nice throw by the Lumberjack. Looks like he got a 5 there. But Matt will get a closer look. Again, we know Matt, being a very thorough judge, wants to make sure the call is right, and he calls it a 5 and a 4.
So Kedley gets out of the vortex to take a 1-point advantage over Devin Hillary.
Yep, and it's just important now. Leroy just has to remain in the driver's seat. Oh, and unfortunately for him, that could be a 4, possibly a 3. And a nice throw there by Devin. That's a 5. So Devin able to flip the script here on the 4th throw.
17-16.
Devin Hillary now with a 1-point lead after 4 throws.
Oh, man. What a devastating turn of events for both players there.
I guess the nice thing is it was a rough round right there for each player, so not a lot of ground lost for anybody there. Devin Hillary extends her lead to 3 heading into the second half.
Yeah, it's not often you can extend your lead with a 2, Joey, but Devin did just that. But a nice response by both competitors. It looks like that could be a 5 there for Leroy. Oh, and ruled a 4 for both, but still positive points on the board. No 2s, no drops. No one wants to see that.
All right, this is throw number 7.
But again, for these new competitors too, Joey, though, they have to learn how to compete versus other throwers. So being the aggressor, being in the driver's seat, putting those positive points on the board, that's something that every thrower has to learn. And unfortunately for these new throwers, they're playing some people that actually have a lot of experience with that. They're a little more familiar with it, so they're getting used to it.
And these are the kind of matches where you learn a lot in a hurry. It's Devin Hillary up by 3. You've got a few throws to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the matches are won and lost.
Absolutely. So Leroy able to get a point on Devin's 3 there. As we saw with some previous throws, this thing can turn very quickly. And Devin with another 3, and Leroy had his chance. Wow. So Leroy with a drop when Devin throws that 3, and you could see, Joey, that was going to at least be a 4. He was going to make it a 1-point game going into the 10th throw.
Instead, it's a 5-point lead for Devin Hillary here on the final throw.
Yeah, so she's able to at least just play the board here, no mistakes. Shaking her head, though, that is a 3.
3-4.
And Leroy able to get a point there, but it will be all for naught.
Another win for Devin Hillary. 36-32 the final over Leroy Kedley.
Yeah, so just a lot of things going on here in this match, Joey. As you can see from that 3rd throw, Leroy was able to take a 1-point lead, but quickly gave that up, and Devin took to the driver's seat, and she really never looked back, although she did have that 2 on her 5th throw, finishing up the match with 3 consecutive 3s, something she definitely wants to clean up. And then Leroy, of course, with those 2 devastating drops, something we didn't see out of him in week 1, but unfortunately for him, they crept up in this matchup. He did have a nice response in his 10th throw, positive points of a 4, but hopefully better scores in the future.
Yeah, the key will just be eliminating those mistakes. Let's throw it down to an interview with Leroy Kedley on his throwing mentality.
It's definitely a rhythm, and I think if you stay consistent with your rhythm, I think you'll stick to board a lot more. My rhythm's definitely off. It's not going that good tonight, so. But hey, I got 2 more games, so maybe I'll bounce back.
Leroy Kedley, the Lumberjack, feeling optimistic.
Yeah, of course. And like he said, he's got more matches coming up tonight, so hopefully he can turn it around.
Our next matchup, Ann Welp taking on Michelle Frummelt. Michelle came up just a little short in her first matchup here in week number 2. She'll look to bounce back with a win here over Ann Welp.
Yeah, with that score 39, definitely Michelle kind of wants to live in the 40s here to get started, and a nice throw by both competitors here. And Ann coming in at 2-2. She just wants to eliminate those drops, something we saw out of her last week, Joey. Those drops have really started to creep back into her game. And try to do whatever you can to eliminate those from your throw.
Michelle Frummelt had a strong finish to her first matchup of the night. We'll see if she can carry that momentum into this one.
Yeah, I think a good goal for Michelle in relation to her first matchup would just be to eliminate those threes on her scorecard there. So if she can do that, I think she's going to put herself in a really good position to put up a score in the 40s that she's looking to do. But a couple 4s there, so still a 1-point lead for Michelle going into the 4th throw. Oh.
4, and we do not speak.
Well, Bobby, you
Man.
talked about Ann Welp's need to eliminate those drops, and a devastating drop right there on her 4th throw.
Yeah, we've seen Ann put up some really impressive numbers, but again, those drops are just going to be devastating to your overall score. She's been resilient, coming in at 2-2, able to overcome those. But, yeah, just something you definitely want to eliminate from your game. And a couple 4s there.
All right, touch them up, switch them up at the turn. Michelle, you
So
are
at the
26,
turn, Michelle has a
17.
5-point lead. But kind of getting stuck in that vortex a little bit. But those are better than 3s, right, Joey?
Absolutely, and a nice throw there from Frummelt. That looks like it could be a 5. Looks like it's definitely a 5 after getting a
Ooh.
closer look there.
Look
But
at
it's
that.
not. It's a 4. Meanwhile, it's a bullseye for Ann Welp. So just like that, Welp gets within 3.
Yeah, so that Ann made it a game there with that nice bullseye there, capitalizing on Michelle's 3, which was very close to being a 5, but it looks like she hit it there. I don't know if you saw that, Joey. There was a little wobbly axe there as well.
Yeah, luckily it stuck in. Michelle Frummelt with a 5, a 4 for Ann Welp. So now a 4-point lead for Michelle Frummelt.
And Michelle just has to remain in the driver's seat, happy to trade points, no mistakes, no drops, no 3s.
Throw number 9, Michelle by 4.
2 throws to go. Michelle leading by 4.
And again, another position where I think later on in the league here, Joey, we're going to see some players be aggressive, go for the kill shot in this situation, just to try to get back in the game, force it on that on that last throw,
4-4.
to see if we're going to force it on that last throw,
Throw number 10,
just to see if we will go to sudden death or maybe come out with the victory.
So a couple more 4s from Welp and Frummelt. 4-point lead for Michelle. 1 throw to go.
4-4.
Yep, so both players look like they're going to be happy to play the board here.
43-39.
And there's a
That
nice
should
throw.
do it for Michelle Frummelt. Nice finish here for Ann Welp. That one's a 4, actually. And a 4 for Frummelt. So it's Michelle Frummelt getting the win, 43-39.
Yeah, you saw Ann getting a closer look on that last throw, very close to being a 5. For her, she did have the only bullseye in the match, so that's something definitely hang your hat on. But it just comes down to those drops, Joey. We saw that drop on the 4th throw. Really changed the momentum of this game. It was very close going into that 4th throw. But then it just gave Michelle just such a lead to work with. And kudos to her. She did a great job of staying in that driver's seat, putting positive points on the board. And she eliminated the 3s from her matchup in this one, so that was definitely another positive. But got to start getting out of that vortex, start moving to that 5 and 6 ring.
One of the best parts about Battle Axe is the camaraderie amongst the competitors. Let's throw it down to an interview with Michelle Frummelt on joining the Battle Axe community.
I adore it. I love it so much. It's such a good time. I've met, tons of people that are throwing down here, and everybody is so incredibly supportive. Everybody gives you pointers. There's not a bad egg in the house, honestly. And it's just a good time every time I'm down here.
Michelle Frumelt enjoying being a part of Battle Axe, and it's great to have her. We've got much more Battle Axe still coming up. Stay tuned. You're watching MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe. I'm Joey Danya alongside Bobby the Blade Bradford. As always, we're coming to you from the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. It's week number 2 of our 7-week regular season, leading up to a double elimination postseason tournament to crown a Battle Axe champion. A lot of new faces here to Battle Axe this season. One of them is Devin Hillary. Let's throw it to an interview with Devin about improving her throw.
Getting more comfortable. I'd say I get in my head a little bit and I try to adjust my grip when I'm like, oh, that went really well. And I feel like the more I think about it sometimes, the worse I do. So we're just going to take the thinking portion out of it. I'll keep my eyes open, but I'm not going to think about it. So
keeping your eyes open is important. I guess thinking not so much.
Yeah, I mean, eyes open is definitely a rule of thumb that you're going to want to follow. But, if you want to eliminate the mental side of it, that's good for you.
Zach Hinkle taking on Devin Hillary.
So we saw Zach with a really impressive first match, coming in at 3-2. Zach put up a score of 51 in his first matchup. We'll see if he can improve on that one here.
Meanwhile, earlier, Devin Hillary got a 4-point win over Leroy Kedley, 36-32. Nice start for Hinkle and Hillary, couple of 5s.
And the same thing for Devin that we had with Michelle in her last matchup. She had a lot of 3s in her first matchup. If she can eliminate those, that's something really positive to build on. Another nice throw there. Looks like a 5. Could be a bullseye.
4-5.
Devin Hillary out to the early lead, 10-9. She must not be thinking.
Yeah, she must say, wait, whatever works, Joey, right? Doesn't matter how you get there as long as you just get there. So a nice throw there by Devin. Looks like a 4. Ooh, and the axe getting away from Zach there. And he says, goodbye, sunglasses.
So Zach Hinkle clearly frustrated after that 3. We'll see if he can shake it off.
Yeah, we didn't see a single 3 from Zach in his first matchup, though he wasn't wearing sunglasses, so hopefully that can help. But another 3 there.
All right, this is throw number 4. Devin's up by 3.
So Devin Hillary building a 3-point advantage after the first 4 throws.
Yeah, so Devin, just like in her first matchup, doing a really good job of staying in the driver's seat and putting up some positive points when your opponent makes a mistake. There again, she's able to get a point. So she's taking a 4-point lead going into the turn.
A great start for Devin Hillary. 3 5s to go along with a couple of 4s. We'll see if she can close it out here on the back half.
Yeah, you never want to rely on your opponent to make a mistake, but one of the very important things to do when they do make a mistake is you have to capitalize. So Devin doing a really nice job there on their 2nd through 5th throw of capitalizing on Zach's mistake.
And here she's happy to trade points with Hinkle, but that one sails away a little bit.
Yep.
It's a 3, so Zach Hinkle now within 3.
Yep, so Zach able to kind of get back in this thing a little bit. Still plenty of throws. Looks like a couple 4s there. Devin, of course, happy to trade points at this point.
And she didn't miss the 5 by much there. 2 throws to go. Devin Hillary up by 3.
Yeah, so both competitors doing a nice job of hanging around. Nice throw there by Zach. He's able to get a point very close to being a bullseye. So he makes this thing a 2-point game going into the last throw. Zach needs a bullseye badly.
That last 5, though, will make this last throw a lot more interesting.
Oh, and he's off the mark. Devin did her part. She threw a 4, but Zach unable to find the bullseye when he needed it the most.
So a great start continues for Devin Hillary. She's pumped up. She gets the win, 42-40 over Zach Hinkle.
Oh, just an excellent example of remaining in the driver's seat, keep putting positive points on the board when your opponent makes a mistake. Devin did a great job. She threw up a round of 42. Despite that 3 on her 7th throw, she stayed in the vortex. She had 3 5s on the scorecard. I'm sure she'd like to see a little more bullseyes, but heck of a win there. She improves her record to 5-1. And then for Zach, as you can see there, with those 2 3s on his 3rd and 4th throw, Those are the ones that really allowed Devin to create that lead. But he did a nice job. He made it a game. He came down, just couldn't find that bullseye in his 10th throw.
Yeah, we know Zach Hinkle is capable of much better days. He had a round of 51 earlier today, taking down Nicole Robson. She had a shaky start with a couple of drops, but she's looking to rebound here. Let's throw it down to an interview with Nicole on perseverance.
No, I think grit and determination are a big thing when it comes to this, because you have to leave what happened last time where it was. You can't let that get into your head. And I'm big on, if I feel like I'm going to be able to do it, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to prove you wrong if you think otherwise.
Nicole Robson on a mission here.
Yeah, absolutely. And perseverance, and Matt says it all the time, you got to be a goldfish. You can't remember that last throw, that last game, last week. You just have to focus on the board.
Nicole Robson will be taking on Bob Yoakum.
Yeah, so Bob coming in at 1-3, Nicole 1-4.
Throw number 1.
But as we've seen in leagues past, Joey, Bob can throw up some serious points, and that's a great start there for Nicole and Bob.
Couple of bullseyes from Robson and Yoakum.
Throw 2.
Both of these competitors hungry to get back in the win column.
Well, and you wonder, too, if you get week 1 out of the way, and then really kind of focus up on the board, find your throw, carries over week to week.
4-5.
So a nice throw there by Nicole, able to sneak in that 5. And Bob with a 4, so Nicole with a 1-point lead,
Number 3, Nicole by 1.
doing a good job of persevering and focusing on that board.
Yeah, her first matchup was shaky, but she did finish strong, and she certainly appears to be carrying that momentum into this one. Another bullseye for Robson. She's now up by 2.
Yeah, so she's doing a really nice job of finding that bullseye. 2 of her first 3 throws have found the bullseye ring. Bob off the mark slightly, very close to being a 5, though. And the same with Nicole as well. So bullseye Bob found the bullseye on his first throw. He didn't have one in week 1, Joey, but able to find on his first throw. Let's see if he can pop a couple more in there. Very
That one's
close.
awfully close. Might have to get a closer look. Nope, it's just going to be ruled a 5 for Bob Yoakum. So he gets within 1. Nicole Robson leading 25-24 as they switch sides and get ready for the second half.
Yeah, Bob able to get a point on Nicole. Devastating throw there, though. That looks like a 4, could be a 3 there for Bob. And if this is a 5 for Nicole, she's going to gain some points. It looks like that's a 4 there for Bob.
4-4.
But so a couple 4s, so no damage done there for Bob Yoakum.
We've got a nail-biter here between Robson and Yoakum. A 1-point lead for Nicole with 4 throws to go.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx anybody, but I'm just very happy to see Nicole eliminating the mistakes from her game so far. Another nice throw. Looks like that could be a 5, possibly, if it's popping through. Matt, of course, going to get a close look. So ruled a 4 and a devastating 3 there for Bob Yoakum. But he's still down 2 with 3 throws to go.
Yeah, plenty of time to get back in this one for Bob Yoakum, only down by 2. But Nicole Robson won't have it.
Yep, she's happy to trade points. Bob desperately needs Nicole to make a mistake here.
Throw number 9.
Down by 2, so he still has a chance in this thing. And possibly some sudden death.
Yeah, he could really use a bullseye right here.
Very close to being a bullseye. And it looks like that could be a 3 there for Nicole. So maybe this is the mistake that we were looking for. And Joey, just as we say it, we're all tied up going into the 10th throw.
40 all between Robson and Yoakum. 10th throw coming.
Will we see our first sudden death of the league? Looks like that is a 3 there for Bob and a 4 there for Nicole. Man, he desperately needs Matt to make this call here to make it a 4. Otherwise, he's going to be taking the loss.
Bob, it is very close.
Oh, and you can hear Matt say that's very close.
The entire match coming down to this ruling from Matt Bradshaw.
And you can just hear the hush of the crowd, the intensity waiting for this decision. And unfortunately, it is a 3. Wow.
So Nicole Robson winning by a matter of centimeters over Bob Yoakum. 44-43 the final.
Wow, it's a heartbreaking loss for Bob Yoakum. He was ever so close to having a 4 there, sending this thing into sudden death overtime. But hey, kudos to Nicole. She did her part. She eliminated the mistakes. She did have that 1-3 on her 9th throw, but no drops, no ones. And she started off really hot with a couple bullseyes there in her first 3 throws. Other than that, all 4s in that 1-3, but a nice score, 44 nonetheless. And then for Bob, just a little uneven match there. You can see he started off with a bullseye, but then he had those devastating 3s on the second half of his scorecard there. But he's building his game back up, and then there's better scores in his future.
Well, we've got a couple more matches still to come here on Battle Axe, plus our post-game wrap-up. We'll bring it to you straight ahead. Stay tuned for more Battle Axe here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe here at the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. I'm Joey Danya alongside Bobby Bradford. It's been an exciting week number 2 here, Bobby.
Oh, it's been a great week. We've seen some really close matches here. A lot of improvement from the new players and consistent play from our old guard as well.
And we're not done yet. A couple more matches still to bring you. First up, Bob Yoakum. He'll be taking on Michelle Frummelt.
So sometimes with, a devastating loss, sometimes you just got to get back on that horse and get into that lane. So for Bob, he's looking to put that last match versus Nicole behind him and focus up on that board and put some positive points up there. And looks like that could be a 4. He's going to call Eric over. Possibly a 5 if it's popping through on that left-hand side. And they're going to make the change.
So it's a 5 for Bob Yoakum to take the early lead over Michelle Frummelt. Nice way to get this one started for Yoakum after coming up just short in his last match.
And another wobbly throw there by Michelle. Lucky to have that axe stick on the board, but another 5 there for Bob, so he increases his lead to 2. Looks like a man on a mission right now.
Well, you'd imagine after coming up so close, having a heartbreaking loss, he's hungry to get out there and get a win.
Yeah, so Bob with 3 consecutive 5s, but Michelle with a nice bullseye there on her 3rd throw. Definitely kind of the progress that you want to see a player make. And again, a wobbly axe. She's flirting with disaster there.
Yeah, she's lucky that one stuck in there. It keeps it a 1-point game for Bob Yoakum.
It's one of those throws where you're just like, call it, please call it quick.
Nobody move.
Nobody move, exactly. There's a little more authoritative throw there for Michelle. A couple 4s. So Bob still with a 1-point lead.
1-point game. It's anybody's.
We've got another close one here at the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range.
And so Bob knows what it's like to be in a close game. We saw versus matchup with Nicole. Maybe that's a 5 there for Michelle if it's popping through on the right-hand side. I think that's black, though. You got to call that 4, yep. So both players kind of stuck in the vortex a little bit, but a razor-thin margin here. Bob shaking his head.
3-4.
We really haven't seen a lot of 3s out of Bob, but they have come at the most inopportune time for him tonight.
Yeah, this one will come down to the last few throws. It's 30 all with 3 throws to go.
And there's a 4 there for Bob. Ooh, and very close to being a 5 there for Michelle if it was popping through in the bottom part of that blade, but it was a 4. Another nail biter here, Joey.
34-34 between Yoakum and Frummelt.
We'll see if that's a 5 there for Bob, but it is a 4. Very close, though, to being a 5, so it comes down to last throw. Are we going to get sudden death on this matchup, Joey?
We shall see.
Let's go.
The pressure's on here for Frummelt and Yoakum.
Yeah, so we'll see here with this throw coming up. Bob with a nice, looks like a 5, and that is a 4 there for Michelle.
Well, redemption here for Bob Yoakum. He came up 1 point short in his last match. Now he's on top by 1, 43-42 over Michelle Frummelt.
Yeah, just an excellent matchup there by both competitors, really. But for Bob to overcome that loss to Nicole, ever so slightly missed that 4 ring, but with a nice authoritative 5 there on the last throw to take the 1 point victory here in our 7th match of the night to improve his record to 2-4. A lot of 5s on the scorecard. Of course, that 1-3 that, of course, he wants to eliminate. And then for Michelle, you can see it right there. She just had that 1 bullseye on her 3rd throw. everything else was stuck in the vortex. So something that she wants to eliminate. A lot of those 4s were pretty close to being 5s, but if you want to improve your score, you got to start living in that 5 and 6 ring.
No doubt, Bobby. One match still to go here. It is going to be Beth Jen taking on Eric the Scope Shizzle with T Swift by his side.
We'll see. We saw last week that Taylor Swift was affecting Beth's throw a little bit. We'll see how it affects her tonight going up against the Scope. But a nice 5 there for Beth to get started.
She is out to the early lead here over Eric the Scope. Our first look at Shizzle here tonight. Former champion Eric the Scope.
Yeah, we saw Beth kind of get stuck in that vortex there in our first matchup of the night. But another nice 5 there for her, so she's making Erica live in the vortex a little bit here to get started. But yeah, both players coming in. You saw Eric with a 3-1 record, Beth with a 4-1 record. 2 of the top competitors in this league. Another nice throw there by Beth.
Yeah, certainly 2 of the top contenders you would expect to challenge Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw for that championship belt.
Yeah, we've seen Eric, of course, take home the championship before in the past, and we know that Beth has her eyes set on that championship belt. She's doing a great job here to get this match started, living in that 5 ring. We know, Joey, that those 5s can turn into 6s at a drop of a hat.
Meanwhile, Eric the Scope is stuck in the vortex. We'll see if he can get out of it. Might have right there, but nope. Another 4 for Shizzle and another 5 from Beth Jen.
Well, and you can see there with Beth's last throw, that's getting very, very close to being a bullseye. And, of course, if she can even hit one of these, Eric being stuck in that vortex would just be tremendous for her advantage in this game. And did she hit it with the bottom part of the blade there? It looks like Eric might have gotten out of the vortex finally. We'll see if Beth can keep capitalizing on points. And, unfortunately for her, it is not a bullseye. She gets a closer look.
But she just missed it, but all 5s for Beth Jen to get this one started. She'll take a 4-point lead into the second half.
Yeah, still doing a nice job of capitalizing on Eric's mistakes there. Looks like that could be a 4, possibly a 5 if it's popping through in the bottom part of the blade. Oh, and Eric with a flush bullseye.
That is why they call him the Scope. A flush bullseye from Eric Shizzle. A 4 from Beth Jen, just like that. He cuts the deficit in half. It's a 2-point game.
Yeah, then again, that's just how important it is to hit a bullseye when your opponent throws a 4. Able to cut into Beth's lead after 5 throws, and Beth with another 4 there. We'll see if Eric can tie this thing up with 1 throw.
Yeah, this is a perfect example of how switching sides can really alter the course of a game. Eric Shizzle chipping away at that deficit. He's now within 1.
Yeah, he doesn't tie it up, but he does get a point on Beth. Beth needs to start finding that 5 ring like she was to start off this match. But again, this goes back into our conversation, Joey, about learning how to compete against other throwers. Eric doing a really nice job of coming back in this matchup, and I think he just tied this thing up.
Well, what a comeback from Eric the Scope Shizzle. We're all tied at 37 with 2 throws to go.
And this is the kind of heavyweight matchup we always love to see here on Battle Axe. And there, Beth's getting off the vortex, finding that 5 ring, possibly a bullseye if it's popping through on the left-hand side. And Eric with a ice in his veins bullseye there.
Eric the Scope is on fire. He takes his first lead of the match, 43-42, 1 throw to go.
Beth needs a bullseye here and needs Eric to make a mistake with either a 5 or a 4. Looks like that's a 5, so she desperately needs Eric to take a 4. And you can see he's going to take his time, get everything lined up, getting a score check. I don't think he's thinking about going for a kill shot. He's not going to be that aggressive.
Eric the Scope looks like he put it away with a 5, and indeed he did. Great comeback from Eric the Scope Shizzle to get the win over Beth Jen, 48-47. Best matchup of the night. What a way to wrap up week number 2, Bobby.
Oh, it's a fantastic matchup. And, I think Eric was getting a score check, Joey, because he wanted to go to sudden death. So he might have been intentionally going for a 4. Luckily for him, though, he hit a 5 and was able to take the victory, 48-47. But just a tale of 2 halves here. Beth started off with those 5 consecutive 5s, Eric with the 1-5 on his 5th throw. But then from that turn on, Beth got stuck in that vortex, and Eric started finding that bullseye ring and the 5 ring as well. So really a great matchup and something I'm looking forward to seeing again.
Another classic matchup between these two who have been around this league for quite some time. Here's an interview with Beth Jen on competing against Eric Schissel.
Yeah, it's really fun to play against Eric. He's been a great competitor for me to throw against and try and up my game. Just with his experience level, trying to match him every time I play him has been really fun. And I had him on the front five pretty well with a nice string of fives there. And then on the back half kind of fell off a little bit, started to get a little wild with the throw. And he really dialed it in. So it was a fun match. I feel like we're playing really close matches, he and I. And that's really exciting for me, just knowing where I came from and his experience level.
Beth Jen has certainly come a long way, Bobby.
Absolutely. A competitor that wants to take home the championship, and the way she's throwing right now, looks like she can.
Time now for our post-game wrap-up. After 2 weeks of competition, let's take a look at the standings. It is Matt Bradshaw leading the way, a perfect 8-0. We didn't see him tonight, but he was remarkable. He's now improved his average score to more than 57 points per game.
Yeah, Matt is absolutely putting together a tremendous season so far. Should be no surprise to anybody. But right behind him, though, is Beth Jen at that number 2 spot. And then surprisingly, Zach Hinkle there with a really nice night, able to take into that 3rd position, followed by Eric Schissel, Bob Yoakum, Michelle Fremmel, Devin Hillary, Ann Welp, Nicole Robson, and Leroy Kedley.
That's going to do it here for week number 2 on Battle Axe. For my partner, Bobby the Blade, and our entire MC22 crew, thanks so much for watching Battle Axe. We'll see you next time.